Hello, everybody, and welcome to Luna Lee Chats, where I bring you the craziest stories all around the internet that I could get my hands on, and we talk about it, we discuss it, and have a good time. So, I hope you have your beverage of choice ready. I know I've got mine, and let's get it started. Today's first story is a bit of a crazy one. I read it last night with my husband, and we had such a laugh, okay? This one is titled, Am I the asshole for being truthful and admitting that I find my wife unattractive after her surgery? So, out of the bat, yeah. Anyways, my wife had plastic surgery recently. We had discussed it and I was against it. It was not my decision, and ultimately I had no say. Do you guys think that this is something people should discuss with their partners? I do think so, because at the end of the day, it's also in their best interest for you to look your best, And I think it's a bit selfish of you to be like, nah, it's my business. I don't care if you like it or not. Because at the end of the day, that's the person they gotta be with. That's the person they gotta, sleep with. They should still be able to find you attractive. So obviously, I don't think it's something that should be decided by yourself. But then again, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Anyways, back to the story. She looks weird now. She had the fat sucked out of her face, lip fillers, and a neck lift. Other stuff I don't really get. So she got all the stuff done. Essentially, she got the whole Kardashian treatment, and he was just not impressed. She gives me uncanny valley vibes now. It freaks me out. She's fully healed now, and she wants us to go back to normal, like me initiating sex. I have done so, but not as much as I used to, and when I do, I try to make sure there's very little light. It's been a few months, and I kind of dread having to look at her. Jesus. Obviously, she has noticed. She has been bugging me to tell her what's up. I've tried telling her I'm just tired from work or that I'm run down. Really anything except for the truth. She broke down and asked me if I was having an affair. I said that I wasn't. She asked to look at my phone. I unlocked it for her and handed it over. I wasn't worried about her finding anything because there is nothing to find. She spent an hour looking through it and found nothing. She asked me to explain why I changed. I tried explaining that I just wasn't that interested right now. Nothing I said was good enough for her. She kept digging. I finally told the truth. I wasn't harsh or brutally honest. I just told her that her new face wasn't something I found attractive and that I was turned off. She asked if that's why I turned off all the lights now. I said yes. She started crying and said that she needed time alone. She went to stay with her sister. I have been called every name in the book since this happened. Her sister said I'm a piece of shit for insulting my wife's looks. Her friends all think I'm the asshole. I tried not to say anything. I can't force myself to find her attractive. I still love her, but her face is just weird now. She looks like the blue alien from The Fifth Element. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus. I mean, I need to find this blue alien actually. Okay. This is a wild one. Here's some of the comments.
Not the asshole. I think you handled the situation as well as you could, but there's a different conversation you and her need to have soon.
Okay. The next one is,
oh god, if she did the vocal fat removal, I totally feel you. It makes people look so freaky.
And then OP replies, yeah, that's it. Thanks, I couldn't remember. And someone says,
oh man, there are plastic surgeons out there that refuse to do this one because of the damage it can cause, and two, because there isn't enough data to show exactly what it will do over time, but they suspect it will cause some worse problems down the road as people age. Even worse for people under 40s to 50s. According to the rabbit hole I went down recently, buccal fat is good to have because it can help reduce jaw sagging later on. Anyway, while it's totally in her right to make the choice to get that surgery, you're not the asshole, OP. No one's an asshole for what they don't find attractive. And I said this in another comment. But you tried to compromise internally and tried to protect her feelings. But she flung around accusations of cheating. You wouldn't let it go, kept pushing, and when you were honest with her, she flipped shit, left and pulled other people into your marriage, who are now on a slam campaign against you. She did all of this and still can't manage to take any personal responsibility or act like an adult about it. To be honest, this post would be fit for no consequences, but not because of you.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing that I was talking about in the beginning. Like, if you're gonna do something like that, yes, I do agree that, it's your body, your choice, like, you do whatever you want, but you have to deal with the consequences of that. Like, it's the same thing with the whole free speech thing. Like, my dad always says, you have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom of the speech, And that's it. Like, she has the freedom to do whatever she wants with her body, but she doesn't have the freedom to alter how her husband feels about it after she's done it. But there's an update to the story, so buckle up. My wife came home yesterday and we finally had a long talk. She told me that the reason she had the surgery is because her mom and sister talked her into it. They convinced her that she was starting to look old and that I would find someone else to be with if she did not do something. That was why her mom gave her the money for the operations. So not only did this mom convince her daughter, you looking ugly as hell, girl, your man's gonna leave you. She gave her the money to do it. And then now the guy's not impressed. Anyways, her mom and sister look like Bruce Campbell in Escape from LA. They are the very last people on the planet that should be telling anyone to get plastic surgery. I used some of the comments I read on my post as talking points. I told her that I loved her and that she was the person that I wanted to spend my life with. I told her that the surgery would take a while longer to settle down and that as I got more used to her new face, I would learn to appreciate it. She asked me if I wanted her to see if she could get it reversed. I almost screamed at her. The last thing in the world I want is for her to fuck up her face. Fuck up her face more than it already is. I asked her if she could please just leave it alone and let me get used to it. We talked for about 3 hours and we decided that her mom and sister would not be a part of any decisions in our life going forward. She's going to leave her face alone and give me a chance to get used to it. We are going to look for a marriage counselor and maybe individual counselors for each of us. I am going to make an effort to show her every day how I still find her desirable. And she is going to make an effort to believe me when I tell her I love her the way she is. We are going to talk to her mom and sister and tell them that we are taking a break from them. We are going to block them and get our shit together before we allow them back into our lives. Thank you to everyone who tried to help me. I would like to add that I did not think there were that many guys out there with a weird blue squid lady fetish. It isn't for me, but you do you. Wow. And then some of the comments.
I am not confident in my appearance at all, but you know who tell me I'm beautiful even though I look like a yam? My mom and sisters. Fuck your wife's family for doing that to her.
So someone else said,
you and your wife will need to keep in mind that her mother and sister, Bruce Campbell's face, purposefully sabotaged her face. Yes, really. It may be subconscious or consciously, but it is very odd to read the state of play and how this came about. I advise you to research cluster B types if you're not already aware. Every family says you have at least one petty, spiteful, jealous, covetous, disruptive, and sometimes dangerous family member or in-law that is naturally inclined and often outright purposeful in nature to hurt everyone else. I would think very long and hard about even telling the mother and sister your intentions of taking a cooling off period, giving them an awareness that they harmed you and your wife, their daughter/sister, is telling them you are both vulnerable and that they affected you both. You're telling them they were successful. Them being aware you are seeking counseling or anything personal is a bad idea. They are own nothing. They should get nothing. What they did to her is basically criminal. They should never be trusted again. Don't you realize? I know you do. I am being hyperbolic. They have weaponized your wife's love for you and fear of losing you to cause her to cut her face up. My family were psychopaths. My in-laws are sociopaths.
Jesus Christ.
I had to spend years teaching myself to be better and psychically recover after I left my family. My father put me in a coma and I almost died. Then again, the same with my wife and her family. Her mother broke her until she developed an eating disorder and she almost died. My wife was a former athlete and runway model. She was the last to need such attention. Her mother was jealous and my wife was susceptible back then. Today, my wife is strong and doesn't interact with her family, minus her amazing young sister. They no longer engage in being abused. I am so proud of them. These types of people are dangerous, even if you're not sure they are malicious. Look at what they have already made your wife do to herself. So you owe it to each other to be very cautious with such people. Give them nothing, quarantine them. Look what they've already done to her. You're each other's partner. Protecting each other is of paramount importance. You've got this, OP.
Wow, this was a bit of a trauma dumping comment, but anyways. Yeah, that's crazy. I think that this is not the first time they do something like this, because for them to go as far as like cut the family off is really extreme. But I mean, at the same time, like what they did is really extreme. Like, to convince someone to go through with surgery to the point where, they even like, nah, I ain't got the money for it. Don't worry, I'll give you the money. Like, that's crazy. And I definitely think that OP is definitely right to just cut them off for, at least for a while, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't really know these people's lives and like, anything about them. But it is insane to me that they, and it's a long process as well. Like, you don't wake up one day and then get surgery tomorrow. Like, you go through this whole process, and they were reaffirming her and reassuring her that this is the thing to do. She doesn't want to lose her husband throughout this process that could have probably taken months. And if they have this much like authority and like influence over her, God knows what else they can do. So I think OP and his wife made the right call to cut them off at least a little bit until they can figure their stuff out. But what do you think? Like, this is a crazy one. Do you think you would fall out of love for your spouse or significant other if they significantly did something to their appearance? Is that something that would really bother you? And then, like, what would you do about it? Like, I think OP handled it perfectly. Because obviously he still loves his wife and he still wants to be with her, but at the same time he just doesn't feel attracted to her, yet he was still kind enough to try and not let it show. But it's something that you really can't, like, eventually it was gonna come out, and it just sucks that it came out the way it did, and that's how she responded. I don't think she responded very well, But at the end, at least I feel like she kind of redeemed herself. She went back to her husband, they talked things through, and they kind of came to the conclusion that she shouldn't be listening to all these other influences. Anyways, I'd love to know your thoughts on this story, and if you would like to hear more stories like this, more Am I the Asshole stories, Am I the Devil stories, stuff like that. Or I was also thinking on maybe doing some scary stories. I don't know, this is all very new to me still, and I'm just trying to find my footing, but I'd love to get your feedback and take it from there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I enjoyed myself, and hope to see you next time.